What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. My name is Temokem. Welcome to the channel, guys. And so in today's video we shall be looking at 5 habits that you have to avoid if you want to be successful. So in our recent video we did talk about 5 habits to be successful, and so as a follow-up to that video we are looking today at 5 habits that we must avoid if we want to be successful. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and so please remember to share this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, guys. Also like the video and don't forget to hit the notification button so that you get notified whenever we post a new video. And so guys, and once more, today we shall be looking at 5 common habits that prevent you from being successful, that prevent you from progressing. So these are the things that are very common with many of us. I believe that at least one of these things we've been a victim of, or been affected by one of these habits, that I'm going to be talking about. And so if we can avoid these things, then we are going to be sure of creating or being in a very successful state, or having a very successful life. All right guys, so point number 1, it's confusing busy with productivity. What does this mean? It means that very often at times we keep ourselves very busy, and by so doing we think that we are making the right moves, we think we are doing the right things, but then despite all our activities, despite all our effort, despite all the work that we put in, we are just making the wrong moves. This is because we are not being productive with our moves, we are not being productive with our activities. We are not doing the right things that we need to do. And so if we should be very busy and we consider it to be kind of productive, then we must be doing the right activities. And the right activities would vary depending on the goals that you set for yourself. The right activities will vary depending on what your objectives or your aims or your mission is to accomplish in the long term. And so very often, once more, we find ourselves being very busy, doing the things that are not going to help us to grow, the things that are not going to help us to attain our objectives. And so if we must be able to progress, if we must be able to succeed, then we must start by reviewing the things that we do, the activities that we carry out. What are the things that we put our energy on, we put our resources on? Are they the right things to do? Are we being busy doing the right things? Because mind you, if we keep on being busy doing the wrong things, then we are just wasting our time pondering over things that are not going to lead us to anywhere. Point number 2 has to do with seeking perfection. All right guys, let me just say this clean and clear. There is no way, at no point in our lives, that we are ever going to be perfect. As human beings, we are always bound to mistakes. As human beings, we are always bound to making errors. As human beings, we are always eligible to maybe going wrong in one way or the other along the process to achieving our goals and our objectives. And so it is very important for us to come to the position where we realize that it is just impossible to become perfect. And so because you are doing the right things, because you are working towards your objectives, towards your goals, and along the line you make some 1 or 2 mistakes, maybe you take some bad decisions, you shouldn't beat yourself up, but you should raise your shoulders high and pick the broken pieces and keep moving, because you understand that, or you realize that it is just not possible to be perfect. No one is perfect. Along the process we make mistakes, and so we should always understand that it is practically impossible to reach the point of perfection. And so we must keep away the habit of seeking for perfection. We must stop thinking that at one point, if we go wrong, then we have missed it all. No. In the process, we're going to have slip-ups. We're going to have times that we're going to feel down, but then we should never stay down, because it is just the process. Point number 3 has to do with avoiding risk. And so this is very important, because I think most persons have been caught up in this trap, where they have very beautiful, very wonderful ideas. They know of some very fruitful and let's say adventures that should they engage in is going to yield them so much, but then because of that fear, because of that that willingness to avoid risk, they turn out not embarking on such things. Now we need to understand that risk at some points are inevitable. We cannot we cannot shy away from all form of risk, because even the things that we think that are the safest things to do have some hidden risk behind them. I'm not saying that because you should take risk means you should just take any kind of risk, but mind you, you should always be able to take calculated risk. Take risks that are reasonable. Don't take risk because you want to take risk for the sake of risk, but take risks that are worth taking. There are so many things that you could want to do, but then that the stakes maybe at this, the stakes at that, and so you need to calculate and see that what if I don't do this, what's going to be the outcome? What if I do it, what's going to be the outcome? And so we must be very careful with the aspect of risk avoidance, because by wanting to avoid risk, you might just be preparing your own failure. You might just be preparing a situation for yourself where you will always remain stagnant. And so we must be able to come to the point in our lives where to be successful, we have to be able to take the risk as they come, but then calculated risk. We should be able to reason at ourselves. We plan in our mind, we think well, and then we go for it. Because if you keep on staying behind and trying to avoid all forms of risk, then you might even be caught up by risk itself. And so we must be very careful with this point of trying to avoid risk. All right, point number 4, trying to do it alone. Right. This is a very controversial point, because I think some persons would argue that it is worth better working alone. But then it is often said that if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. But then this is very important, because don't get me wrong, I know some person are going to say that by trying to do things alone, you have that serenity, you have that you're in a position where you can easily take quicker decisions. I mean, it's a very debatable point, but then I personally think that, and I know many lots of you also think that, to be able to do it better, to be able to be successful, we need to surround ourselves with the right persons. We need to work as a team. If you have that business idea, don't just think that you're going to do it alone. Try to look around you, those friends that you think, by bringing them into the scene, they're going to help you. Because what most of us do is that we try to do things on our own. We try to, even where we know we are not capable, even where we know we are not, we don't have the expertise to go about these things, we always try to do them alone, and then we make so many mistakes, and very often we do mistakes that it is very difficult even to recover from. And so if you want to be successful, you should avoid the aspect of trying to do everything by your own. If you have something you want to do, a friend A or friend B can be of utmost help, then seek their services and work together as a team. And of course, this also means that you should surround yourself with the right friends, because if, for example, you are in the company of the wrong people, then you might not even have someone that you can, be able to work together with, to be able to, forge ahead with whatever you are doing. And so, guys, the final point has to do with comparison, comparing yourself to your peers. Now, this is a very delicate something, because I think at one point in our lives, if I'm not mistaken, of course, so many of us have been caught up in this trap of trying to look at our friends, our peers, and see what they are doing. We look at them, we see where they are, without necessarily thinking how they have gotten there, and we look at ourselves and we beat ourselves and think that we are a failure. Or even sometimes we think that they did one or two things that must have propelled them to where they are, and that we have not yet done. But you need to come to realize that everyone does not have the same destiny. Yes, you might study in the same class with these persons. Yes, you might eat on the same table with these persons. Yes, you might go out partying with these persons. Yes, you might think of the right business ideas with this person, but then things may just not work out exactly between you and maybe your peers. And so you should be very careful not to fall into the trap of trying to compare yourself with your peers. You don't know the backing that your peers have got. You don't know the financial backing. You don't know the moral backing that they have got. And then you just want to be like them. You just want to, you just envisage, being hitting the heights that they must have attained and all those things. So this might lead you to a lot more trouble, you understand. And so you should always avoid the situation where you are always looking up to, being exactly of the same state or the same status like your peers. Don't allow peer pressure to override your thinking. Don't allow peer pressure once more to override your thinking. Take it calm, take it easy, do the right things, put together the resources, and I assure you it's just going to be one click, and then all of a sudden things are going to change massively for you. And so you shouldn't be in any sort of hurry. Take it easy, one step at a time. Don't rush it. Do it as you ought to do it, with the right persons, and make the right decisions for yourself. And I tell you what, you're even going to achieve much more than you've seen your peers, whichever persons, achieving. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. Hope you liked the video, guys. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, guys, and of course leave a comment in the comment section of what you think about these points. Do you know of many other things? Because I know there are many more, of course, that we should avoid if you want to be successful. Do you know of many other things that we are so much engaged in doing that are the reasons for us not being able to progress, not being able to be successful? Then please leave all those in the comment section, guys. I also want to appreciate all those of you who have taken time to to reach out to me, congratulate me, to support me and the rest. I really appreciate your criticism. I appreciate your support. I appreciate every single bit of it. All right guys, so until the next video, see you.